Hey guys, Kev here, and I am ready to do my first impressions on the Alien Knives DX2. And this is going to be a first impression slash overview. I'm not going to do a full review on this knife because I haven't really been carrying it. It's a brand new knife that I got in from Frankie. Shout out to Frankie, DWM underscore EDC on Instagram. DWM underscore EDC on Instagram. Really cool dude. He just got this. This was a pre-order from Alien Knives on Kickstarter. And I didn't really want to mess it up. It's also this huge, bulky, right-handed flipper with a huge pecker. And I'm just really not going to carry that in my left pocket. So I play with it around the house and stuff, and I've gotten a pretty good idea for it. I've done a little research, so I know what I'm talking about, because I almost made a pretty big snafu. And yeah, so I'm just going to do this video, and then I'll be sending this back to Frankie. I have my LaCroix here. I know Frankie's eager to get this back so he can chop this flipper tab off a little bit and you know, kind of make it his own. He also sent me a Manix 2 lightweight in Maximate that he got as part of a, I think it was like one of those raffles where you pay, like, you know, like 20 bucks for 10 spots or whatever. It was like one of those, and he won this. I'm going to do a quick Manix 2 overview as well after this, so stay tuned for that as a separate video. I have two of them in right now, and again, I'm not really going to carry them. I'll explain in that video, so I'll get to that. And lastly, he sent me this really cool pry bar from Etsy. I'm not sure what it's called or who makes it or anything. I think there was a little pouch with it, but it's just pretty cool on Etsy. I think I looked for it and I couldn't find it, and that's how I ended up getting the tiebreaker here from T&P, Tactical and Portable. So, because I was looking for this and I couldn't find it, so I went ahead and picked this up instead. So yeah, that is the pry bar he sent as well. Sorry, my kid is, I think she's going through like teething or something. She was really hard to put down tonight, and she just kept waking up, moaning and crying. So I'm trying to keep an ear out, and I thought I just heard her cry, but I think she settled down, or her mom took care of it for me. I'm not sure. Let me put this away. All right, so sorry about that. The Alien Knives DX2, guys. This is a pretty cool knife. It says Alien Knives Davo Design. So the guy behind this, his name is Davo. He runs the company. He owns the company. I'm guessing it's kind of like a one-man show, kind of like Vero was, or you know, a few of those Kickstarter types you see, Arcane Designs, that kind of stuff. And this knife really interested me, not because I particularly like the design or want one, because they're big and it's super thin, and it's just not really my kind of knife, but I definitely can see the appeal for people who do like this kind of knife. Like, ironically, I really love this knife right here. This is the Kaiser Sheepdog. Now, this is a lefty model. And this, actually, I just got back from Kyle, DTOM Knives and Gear. Shout out to Kyle, guys. He hooked it up. He was able to anodize this at his job. They do anodizing. And I chose this seafoam color, and then we did this blue on the clip. And you can see right there, I already dinged it up pretty good on the clip today. Today was my first day carrying it because I had to kind of tune it, and I Loctited it and I let it sit for a day. Almost 2 days to let it, you know, get all hardened in there. So, yeah, but I really love this thing. And this is the only really knife like this, big, beefy cleaver type thing, that I'm into. So this isn't really my style. Plus, this is a lot thinner, and it's got that huge pocket pecker, where this is more of a, I mean, I guess it is pretty bad too. but it's not like pointy, so it's just a little different. This carries very well for me, but I do have the lefty one, and this is righty, so carrying it in my left pocket just, it's a little bit awkward. So I guess I'll start with kind of the aesthetics of this. Actually, no, I want to go over the kind of background a little bit. Then I didn't know much, so before this video, I was downstairs feeding my kid, and I just watched a couple of reviews on this. Now, normally I won't do that because I don't want to be, I don't want to be influenced at all. But in this case, I wanted to because I didn't know anything about this. And I went to their website, and it, like, briefly in there just said, USA made. And I was like, wait, what? Because I almost made a huge mistake. When I was thinking about this video downstairs earlier, I was ready to talk about how this really feels like a Kaiser-made knife. And I think that Kaiser is the OEM on this out of China. And that's not like an insult or anything. And that's kind of something I wanted to talk about. And then I read that and I was like, wait, American made? So then I ended up watching, I forget whose review was it? Big Bore Knife and Gear, I believe. Shout out to Scott. Check out his channel. He's awesome. And he mentioned these are actually made in San Diego, California. So these are actually USA made, and I believe they're made by Alien Knives. So it's, a shop that Alien Knives have, and they make their own knives, which is impressive because this knife went for $165. And you're talking about S35VN, which is a good steel, guys. I don't care how bougie we are these days. S35 is a good steel. You get carbon fiber, and not just carbon fiber. This is like shredded carbon fiber, I guess, or marbled. I don't know which one you would call it, but it's really cool. S35VN, and then the rest of it is a titanium build. You get your insert, your steel insert, and you get your ceramic bearings. I think you get a ceramic detent ball. I mean, you get all the good stuff on here for $165 made in America. I'm trying to think of a knife like that, and I can't. I mean, ZT makes some, but they're usually over $160, and that's ZT. That's a huge production company, and they can't even do it. So I'm just impressed by that. You know what? The only one I could think of is American Blade Works. So American Blade Works is in that price range. Even they're actually a little bit more as well. But that's American made. Same kind of deal right there. So that kind of gives you an idea. But it does have that kind of Kaiser feel to it, which again, that's not a bad thing. And that's interesting to me to think about because it used to be like, oh, it's Chinese made. Oh man, like that's crap, right? Like, and I know we've come a long way with that, and I'm a proponent of Chinese knives or Chinese made knives. I usually like it to be associated with an American maker, but regardless, it's funny to me that one, I thought it was Kaiser, and two, that wasn't a bad thing. I mean, and that kind of speaks to what we have here in America in terms of production knife companies. It's not, like that doesn't bode well for them that I'm sitting here going, oh yeah, it's Kaiser made. Well, so just an observation there. Anyway, we have S35VN on this sweet drop point blade, spear point, drop point blade. This has a hollow grind, which is very well done. And it comes down to a super thin edge. This thing is a laser beam, guys, and it's amazing because it's so big, right? And it just kind of, it does remind me of the sheepdog, but the sheepdog, it has nothing compared to this in terms of cutting ability. I just sliced some paper and whatever, but you can go through that stuff like butter with this thing, whereas this is good. I definitely think the sheepdog cuts better than it looks, but it's nowhere near as good as this Alien Knives DX2 here, so that is cool. And then you have this ginormous flipper tab you know, finger guard, whatever you want to call it right here. And, you know, I have to agree, and I told you I watched those videos, so I'm not going to sit here and act like I didn't. They all mentioned it being too big, and you know, you could have cut this much off of it, and it still would have been able to fire out. And all of that is true, and I agree with all of that. This is just too big. But then again, this knife is huge, so why not, right? That's what they wanted to do. I mean, it works so good. Like, if you don't care about pocket peckers, did I just cut myself? If you don't care about pocket peckers, this thing is fantastic. And it's hard to fail because of that, even though I just did it a minute ago. So, yeah, that's the thing. The detent on this is good, but it's not, like, exceptional. And that's just kind of what happens with this kind of knife when you have this huge blade, right? If I go to the break, it just kind of flops out. So, but if you give it any kind of gas, which, you know, you guys have heard me say that over and over, it really shoots out. So I might need to rethink my detent test, just because I've been saying a lot of times now where it fails, and then I say, well, it doesn't matter, right? Because it's so good. Like, so, I don't know. I think it comes into play with smaller knives more. Once you get into these beefier knives, that test kind of, it just doesn't work. But, I mean, it shoots out of there, guys. Really good. Push button, light switch, all of the above are good. So, action on this thing is awesome. The drop shuttiness is phenomenal. I wish my sheepdog did this. Kyle's, his drops like this. His sheepdog drops even better than this. And I don't understand why mine won't, but it doesn't. So, sadly, I can't enjoy it as much as I want to. Yeah, action department, really good. Ergonomics on this thing, guys, it's not good. I mean, I just have to be honest. You have this finger swell here for your index finger, a swell here, I guess, for your middle and ring, and then back here for your pinky, depending on your hand. It's all over the place. For me, it does not work at all. I mean, you'll see here, my index finger goes here, and then my middle finger kind of rests on this hump, which hurts, or it goes back here, and then and then my ring finger gets on this swell here, and it just doesn't ever land in a good position, and if I squeeze, it hurts. You could choke up like this, but this thing is razor sharp, guys, so I don't even want to risk going near that blade. So it's just not, I can't get into a comfortable position. Lefty, righty, it doesn't matter. That clip's not in the way. It's a good clip. So ergonomics, not great. And it's just so thin, right? I mean, look how thin this is. Like, for example, here's a bug out, which, you know, that's thin, right? Let me shut this. Whew. Yeah, I mean, this thing is bug out thin, guys. Okay, I take that back. It's thicker than a bug out. Come on, guys. You know I lie all the time. I'm just kidding. Can you see that? I'm going to try to shove the flipper tab into the scale here. Let's try this. Here we go. Can you see that? So, it's not as thin as a bug out, but for a knife this freaking big, it is thin. Compared to the sheepdog. Yeah, it's a little bit thinner than the sheepdog, but not much. So I don't know if it's just a mind game or what, but this feels substantially thicker. Not that much, but it feels thicker somehow than this. So I don't know, but in hand, the grip on this compared to the grip on the sheepdog is just night and day. This feels like a glove. It feels so good in my hand. I love the sheepdog, guys. And this does not feel like that at all. It feels like a thin piece of metal is biting into me. So, ergo is not great on this for me personally. Carry is good on the clip, right? So you have a titanium milled clip here. Good tension, goes in and out of pocket perfectly, no problem. But you have this ginormous flipper tab. You have this wide handle and blade. It just all together is just obnoxious in your pocket. I mean, here's an 8010, like, and this is big, right? Here's the Alien knives. I mean, you're talking, it's basically as tall as an 8010. It's as wide as an 8010 without the flipper tab. And then you add this huge flipper tab on top of that. And then it's definitely not as thick as an 8010, but I'm really liking the 8010, by the way, guys. And I'm not liking the 8015 at all. So, in case you're wondering. Yeah, so it's just kind of it's a weird offering to me, guys. Like, I love that it's made in the U.S., I love that a U.S. designer is coming out with his own company, and I love to support that stuff. But I just can't get behind this design. It's just not my style. The Alien Knives kind of logo there is really cool. You'll also see the steel marking down here. I don't know if you'll see that. And then the model number DX2 over on this side. It's just not my aesthetic, my style, so I'm not in love with it, but I totally can appreciate the maker, and if he comes out with something more my style, I'm going to jump all over it. I think these are actually available. I saw the G10 model available on the website for $165. If you want to head over there, just Google Alien Knives DX2 or something like that. If you're in the market for a big old boy like this, if this is your style, such as Kyle, if you're watching Kyle, I think you would like this, dude. I really do. I think you would like this. $165. I mean, that's a good deal. This thing has an amazing edge on it, man. I'm telling you. I'm literally talking to Kyle right now, guys. I think you would like this. So if you have the money laying around, pick one up, brother. Or try to get one sent to you to check out, because I think you would really dig it, and for what you use your knife for, I think it would work very well for you. So there you go, guys. Aesthetics, interesting, not my style. Action, absolutely phenomenal. Ergos, not very good for me. Carry, so-so. Clip is good. The rest is not. Value, $165 for titanium, carbon fiber, and S35VN, and made in America. Are you kidding me? This is a freaking steal. So, if you're coming to this video to see if it's worth buying this and you're already interested, yes, buy this. If you're left-handed, I cannot recommend this knife. Unless you, for some reason, carry in your right pocket or your back pocket, but this is a big old boy for your back pocket, then maybe, as in terms of like operation left-handed, this is great. I don't have any issues operating this left-handed. It feels really good, actually. This lock bar never gets in the way. You know, it's smooth, it's reliable. The disengagement of the lock bar is very simple and easy. That's something I really appreciate in a knife, because I hate tearing up my thumbs trying to disengage a knife. So for that, it's great. So as a lefty, it functions very well once it's out of your pocket. But if you're going to carry it in your left pocket, I just can't recommend this. I'm sorry. Righties, if you're in the market for this kind of knife, then yes, this is a great deal. Good priced for good materials, and it's cool to back an American company like that, right? So those are my thoughts. And yeah, that is the Alien Knives DX2. I apologize for going off in different waves there. I'm kind of thinking about my kid a lot, and just wanted to kind of put this one out there. I really appreciate Frankie for sending this over to me. I appreciate Frankie Jr. for always supporting his dad. And I just really appreciate all you guys. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I will catch you later.